Talk a little bit about the challenges last week at Michigan, and then looking forward to this week, Comm University at home against Delaware State.
Last week obviously was disappointing. It looked exactly on film like we thought it would. We didn't execute good enough on offense. Weren't able to get any big plays. We grinded the ball out a little bit, but we knew we had to create some big plays, and that was going to be hard. And then defensively, we're better in the second half than the first. Not having Drake Spears hurt us a little bit early on, and we got to tackle better. I think we had 20 plays of 1 or less and 45 plays of 3 or less, and then there's 11 big ones. And that's what we need to limit. So. We had our best practice of the year today. The guys got a chip to them. I was proud of the way they handled themselves on the sideline, and the key is that we just continue to get better. We got a lot of areas to get better, but we got to get better than we've been. So the guys went back to work on that today.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, as far as Caleb Ellaby goes, can you talk about what kind of the plan is for him if
the
you
scenario?
Redshirt?
Yeah, if John gets hurt, Caleb's our guy. You know what I mean? So if we ever get in a situation to put another quarterback in, and Moose has done a good job. Moose would be a guy that would go finish a game if we were up, if we were down. We will not put Caleb in to finish a game out. You know what I mean? We got John hurt last year with like 5 weeks left, so I want to make sure that once we get to those last 4 games, Caleb will be the backup, and I'm going to play him as much as humanly possible in those last 4 games. But I'd like, he's getting all the reps as a 2. He's ready to go. He can help us win games. He will be officially the backup all the time once we hit those last 4 games. Because we'd love to separate him and save him a year, because we think he's going to be pretty special player. So you just kind of play it out, because if John goes down tomorrow, then Caleb's the guy, and then redshirting's out the door, But we'd love to redshirt him. We'd love to have him. We got a lot of big November games, So we get to those last 4, 5, 6 games, we're going to need to make sure that, we'd love to be able to play him and still redshirt him, once we get to these last couple games.
You guys had 17 first downs against Michigan, and I counted only 3 negative run plays. Can you talk about how your offensive line held up against a pretty stout front seven?
It's one of the best in football, that front group. There's at least 5 NFL players up there between the linebackers and the front 3 or 4, depending on how they play it. And they did a great job. We had to call a timeout once on a 4th down because we missed the signal, and I looked at them all in the eye and said, they know we're going to go quarterback sneak, and there's we don't care, coach, we want to run it. And I'm like, are you sure you want? I was trying to talk them out of it, and they're like, no, we're running this thing. Let's go. And sure enough, we went and got it. I was proud of them. It was important for me going against the the #1 pass defense in the country last year, the #1 sack team, that we did a good job protecting John. We threw it 30-some times. He did get sacked twice. There's the 2 times I didn't 7-man protect. He got sacked, which shouldn't surprise me. But we just kept leaning on our offensive line, knowing that that they're our strength. And I was proud of them. Obviously we didn't get enough push. A couple plays we get a little bit more push, and we can get Bellamy to the second level. And once he gets to the second level, anything can happen. So we didn't get him to the open enough. But the way they handled themselves up front against one of the best fronts in the country is, and really at Syracuse, if there's one thing about Syracuse that was big time, was their 4D linemen, the 1-3 technique, and the 4D linemen. Those are the best 4 players on their defense. So they've gone against 2 really good fronts. And they've handled themselves, and I think, obviously they're going to be one of the reasons we can win games, So I was proud. 17 first downs, and we had some 4th downs that we should have gotten. I felt like we needed to not put John in too many bad situations where he's getting hit, and just lean on a run game and try to just grind the ball down the field, and that was by plan, and they did a great job.
Go from a game where not a lot of people expect you to win to a game where everyone expects you to win. What do you say to your team to maybe not let them buy into that right now?
Yeah, we just turn the Michigan game on. That's all the proof you need. As far as, are we playing at a level yet that is going to help us win games in our league? And the answer is no. And we've done like bits and pieces here and there, but we haven't put it together consistently. And So today, I mean, there wasn't a ton that we thought we could do. We still went against scouts today a little bit, but we had a 40-play good on good today and said, we're going to play against each other here, and we need to get some rhythm going and back in our offense and get some rhythm going in our defense. And it was a great session. It was the most that we've done since camp, and because I really challenged them after last Tuesday's practice to have a great practice, and today was probably one of the best that we've had. So the good thing is, I said this after the game, and I know people think I sound crazy, but I was very proud of the way our guys handled the game. I mean, those are the situations. I told them after the game, and I told them on Monday, that's the situation when teams break down. That's when they start pointing fingers at each other. They start screaming at coaches. Body language goes out the window. And they took it like men. We got beat. And we were coming to the sideline. I heard a lot of people that were on the sideline had texted me about that. It told me a lot about what this team can be in the future when things were going as bad as they possibly could, and our guys kept their calm about them, you know, and we were making adjustments, and guys that made mistakes, and they owned up to it. Sometimes one player said to me, Coach, I knew who I had. He's a better athlete than me. And I smiled. I said, you're right. You know, we had the whole thing blocked. We needed one block, and he just whiffed, you know, and he knew it, and he said it, he admitted it, and that's encouraging. I know there wasn't a lot of encouragement on the film, but I was proud of the way they handled themselves, and it showed today in our practice because it was one of our best.
What's your strategy in terms of getting as many players into the game this coming week against Delaware State? Do you figure you have to be up by 4 or 5 scores in order to do that, or are you just going to try to do that anyway, or just?
My biggest thing is getting into rhythm first, and if we get into rhythm, then the game will dictate everything else to us. We have, and this is just the way we've done it, and I think every other school is going to do it differently, is like how you look at the redshirting rule that you asked about. And we kind of have the guys in columns of, we want to redshirt this guy. We think he's going to redshirt, so we'll play him at any moment. You know, he gets 4 games, so let's play him, you know. And then we have the guys that we think could play this year. We'd like to redshirt him, Caleb Ellaby being one of them. We're not going to be in a hurry to throw him out there, you know, because we'd love to be able to, you know, if John gets hurt with 2 games left, have Caleb play 3 games and still redshirt. That would be a win-win for us, you know what I mean? So we kind of have them in different pools of these guys. And actually, when we travel, you know, we as a MAC, it was Jason Candle's idea. It was a great idea. We upped our travel rosters from 70 to 76 this year, so we can bring 6 more guys saying, hey, if we got up or down in these games, like we're going to bring 6 dudes that we can play, you know, so there's more. We have room on the bus. It's 3 more hotel rooms, you know, and then the athletic directors, you know, passed it, and that was just in July we did that, which I thought was a good idea, so we can get those guys developing, you know, sooner, because we have the guys that we think that are ready. Some are already playing. I mean, we've already on special teams. I mean, there was a time late in the game last week where I think we had like 5 true freshmen on the field, you know, and they were playing, and it was great for them because they're going to be players as we go. They're going to play more and more and more and more. And Will McCabe had a sack, which was his first time ever playing college football, and he had a sack late in the game, which I was proud of him. So I saw Lupro out there. A lot of young guys. Isma had a kickoff tackle on the opening kickoff, and Jaden Reed obviously played pretty well. So did Chase Brown. So there's a ton of them out there. Carter was out there. Who else? I think I'm missing one. Carter played. Lupro played. I mean, I thought they're playing good. They're starting to calm down. We're using them more on special teams, and our special teams look better. You know, it's still not where it needs to be yet, but it's better than week 1. We're starting to get the pieces where they need to go. We had the same special teams units for 4 years, and they were great. I mean, we had a 31-year-old punter, and we had, you know, Spillane and Asante, and like, I mean, the guys that we had were really good and took ownership in our special teams. So, and then the other guys that were on that was Spears and Grace, and now they're all starters. You know, so it's been an interesting, you know, maturation process for those guys, and Bill Kenny told me yesterday that he feels great about his kickoff return unit. I mean, about the personnel. Now we're going to get better and better. First week we're trying people out. He couldn't do it. He whiffed. So I feel pretty good about where we're going, you know, in that first 3 weeks, for first 4 weeks of the season, getting everybody in place and getting them ready to make a push for the MAC.
You scored 42 points that opening week. You almost forget about the missed field goal there in the first half, but you get Josh a chance to kick one in a huge setting. Yeah. How important was that for him?
And that's we have a book that kind of tells me what to do. And actually, at 4th and 8, it was a go. So I wasn't planning on sending him out there. They asked me. I said, no, we're going for this. And then he got sacked, and it went 4th and 10. The book said, kick it. So it switched like that. And he ran out there. And it was good. It was good for his confidence, you know. And then I was glad because he got one blocked the time before. The guy was way off sides. And then he kind of got hit. Like, he needs that. These young guys, they need adversity. We try to give him adversity. We squirt water on him when he's kicking and scream at him. And we try to, you know, not quite what 100,000 people can do. But whatever 100 can do, that's what we try to do for them. And what you forget is the snapper's a true freshman, the holder's a true freshman, and the KG veteran 19-year-old is the kicker, the sophomore. So that's what we got. And they're working and they're just going to continue to get better. But for him to make that kick in that situation, I was happy for him. We're going to need him, you know, and Gavin's another guy. His backup's been doing a good job. He kicked great today, so we're going to have to keep that competition going. But he needed some confidence after what happened last time, and I was glad he put one through. He did a better job on kickoffs, too, compared to the week before, for sure. He's going to be talented. I mean, he's one of those kids that's hardworking, great student, great room to be in. You got Jamari and Bellamy and Tuck teaching you, you know. I was shocked when I watched this thing back and, you know, Bogan flat out said he's the best one in the room, you know, which I would agree with him. I wouldn't say it, but he knows it. He's a talented kid, but he's still learning. He's too fast to the hole sometimes. Protection-wise, he missed one this week and made John scramble and missed a check from the line. But he's learning. But he is a talented kid, and the thing about him is he wants to do it. I made a big point to the team on Monday about about him. He ran that whole last drive, had like 8 carries, broke a couple. He was exhausted, came running over to kick off, and coach basically said, hey, Dante, right, or he runs kickoff. And Dante said, we're going to give you this one. I mean, he's exhausted. And Chase is like, no, I'm on the kickoff. This is my rep. I want it. And then he ran down there and made the tackle, and I think it was inside the 20. And that's the kind of kid. I mean, that used to be Spears, and that used to be Grace and Trank and Gio, and now they're kind of starters. Like, he wanted that rep, you know, and he was exhausted running down there because he had just been our starting running back for that whole drive that lasted a little bit of time. But those are the kind of guys that you can win with, you know, to watch him do that. And then on special teams, he is a missile running down there, and that's the kind of team we have, which makes me feel good about what's going to come.
Obviously, the offensive line, you guys still played pretty well. And then just looking ahead to Delaware State. Yeah,
I mean, we knew Michigan going in was one of the top defenses in the country. Their front seven had 2 of possibly the best pass rushers in the nation, and Sean Gary and Chase Winovich. I mean, there was definitely a challenge for us. I mean, we only scored 3 points, so we got a lot to work on ourselves. But, I mean, overall, I was happy with some of the drives we had, but there's still a lot for us to get better at.
And then again, just looking ahead to Delaware State, returning home, Coach said you guys had a really good practice today, just coming back, refocusing, coming off that loss.
Yeah, I mean, there's always things you can take even in a tough loss. I think we had 17 first downs. We might have had 30 yards rushing on the last drive. It may not have been the outcome we wanted, but there's definitely things we can take from last week and maybe transition over to this week. We got a talented opponent in Delaware State coming in here, but we're worried about us after last week and getting better every single day. It's one practice at a time, one play at a time. So,
John, team chemistry is so important in the offensive line. You've got a lot of experience, a lot of guys back. You played next to Luke for a long time. Can you talk about, and you've got some depth now on the offensive line. Can you talk about how important it is, the chemistry that you guys have, and how that's going to help you moving forward?
Yeah, like you said, I think The chemistry, especially in that room, is probably one of the most important things. Having Luke Jurigo right next to me, and Mike Caliendo, and Curtis Doyle, and Zach Noselski, Mark Brooks, I mean, Jalen Moore, I could go on and on with guys who have continued to develop on the field and off the field as leaders. I mean, the whole play starts up front, and I think those guys are doing a great job of really building something special, and we're looking to continue it this week, especially moving forward.
John, is there a sense of, when you looked at your schedule at the beginning of the year, you knew obviously the first 2 games were going to be hard. Is there a sense of, okay, now that's over, and now we go?
Yeah, I mean, we knew, like you said, the first 2 games were going to be tough. We knew Syracuse was very good. Michigan being one of the best top 25 team in the country, possibly one of the best defenses in the country. We knew it was going to be tough. But like Coach said, he said the people said we had a chance to, we were going to win 1 game for sure and lose 1 game for sure. That's what they said. And we got 10 toss-ups, and that's what we got ahead of us. So we're looking forward to those games. We know we have a lot of good opponents left, and we're just continuing to get better and better every single day at practice. So.
Anything else for John?
Hey John, your high school football coach was Tony Kimbrough, former Bronco, and Marty Martin was your strength coach. Do you stay in touch with those guys? And there's kind of a Bronco connection between the, and it goes back a little bit, but the '88 team and the 2016 men's championship team you were on. So
Yeah, throughout high school, I mean, Coach Kimbrough would bring up his '88 MAC championship team here at Western Michigan. Coach Marty Martins was my weight room coach. Every time I go home for a week or 2, I get to work out with him. They're both great people, great men. Broncos, they're doing a great job at East County High School developing players. So, I mean, I still have a personal connection with both of them. They're both great people and great men, like I said. So.
Can you talk, John, a little bit about your future plans? I know that you're a great student, but obviously you're on several watch lists, or at least one I know of. And a lot of people are talking about you continuing this line of offensive linemen from Willie to Taylor to Chooks into the NFL. What are your aspirations?
I mean, ever since I've been a little kid, my dream has been to play in the NFL. And I mean, since I've been here, I've had great mentors, starting with Jimmy Kristoff, Willie Beavers, who was the first since I've been here in a while to make be an offensive lineman in the NFL from Western Michigan. Then we had Taylor Moten, who was a great friend of mine, and then Shukuma last year. So, I mean, I'm just working on continuing to develop every single day and working to reach my goal, my dream. So.
And outside of that, John, can you just talk about you received your degree early, correct? Or did you receive it this past April? So can you just talk about receiving your degree, your undergrad work, and then what you're working towards now?
Yep. I graduated high school early, so I came in the winter. I got my degree in finance in 3.5 years, and right now I'm continuing to work on my MBA. I'm 1 semester in so far, so I'm excited about continuing that and continuing my education moving forward. So.